We're doing something a little different today. Today, Sunday, August 8th, 2026. If you're watching this, it might be August 9th, but it'll at least be August 9th, not before.
True.
We did something a little different yesterday. We went on a bourbon trail, but you might think when we say bourbon trail that we're talking about going to Louisville, Kentucky and visiting places in and around Lexington and Frankfort and Bardstown and Louisville, and you would be wrong. Why would they be wrong, Bob?
Because we've been starting to identify the different distilleries within Missouri. And as that develops, we decided to make our first true Missouri Bourbon Trail trip to 4 different distilleries within about an hour's drive from our homes here in St. Charles. And so we had 4 different locations, and we wanted to, this is going to be the first of several episodes highlighting Missouri distilleries.
So wait,
Yes.
before you dive into the distilleries, we actually went to 5 places, to be clear.
Well, we had 5 stops, yes.
The first place was a stellar beginning to what was a really good day. We went to a place called Joya's Deli.
Hot salami.
Yes, the OG original hot salami with mustard and cheese and nothing else.
You don't need anything else.
Yeah, you don't.
You really don't.
Just give it a try and you'll like it, I'm telling you. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bob.
No, quite all right. And so we decided that we were going to, well, the first stab at this is that I had 7 distilleries, and we decided that 7 might be a little too much, especially since I was the one driving. And so we narrowed it down to just 4 distilleries. And really had an incredible time. And we are already beginning to piece together what will be the next phase of the Missouri Bourbon Tour. So we're not going to be talking about any specific bourbons today, nor any specific cigars. We're just going to be talking about this initial. Why, thank you, sir.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Now, of course, we're going to be talking, so we have to have a cigar and bourbon. We're just not going to highlight these today because we're highlighting the idea of us beginning our trek with Missouri distilleries.
Call it the Missouri Bourbon Chronicles.
Ooh, the Bourbon Chronicles. All right, there you go. So, the very first stop that we made was 1879. It is in Des Peres, and it was the 1879 Speakeasy. Now, unfortunately, the Speakeasy was closed because the owner had a conflict and was not able to open. However, it is associated with the Village Bar and Grill.
The Village Inn.
Village Inn Bar
Which
and
is
Grill.
directly next door.
Yeah.
On Manchester Road in Des Peres.
And so we stopped in there, and the bartender was very kind at setting us up with some samples.
And
And
he was knowledgeable about their brands, too.
Oh, very much so.
He knew everything about all their brands and was giving us a brief history about them, even giving us a heads up on a double oak release that's going to be coming out this
September
fall.
sometime, yeah.
This fall, anyway. So yeah, that was a very good visit, and we ended up each buying a bottle. These are all bottles that I purchased yesterday.
I bought some very similar.
Bob being Bob, he got everything I got and more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
But this one in particular was their double-barreled bourbon. Bob got the rye.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the bourbon as well, didn't you? Or did you just?
Nope,
get
I
one?
just got the rye.
That's right. We just got one bottle each there. But then after we left there, we went west. Go west, young man.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Union, Missouri. Who thought Union, Missouri would be a hotbed for bourbon distilleries? Well,
It is.
I hadn't, and I was mistaken. The first place we went to was a place called Old Ozarkian. The master distiller / owner was present at their, what did he call it? It was a spirit room, spirit something, but it was a bar that he had a name for, a spiritorium. And they had all their product in there, which they had an extensive,
quite a few.
They had an extensive product list, and we were allowed to just kind of walk around and look at everything and kind of make a few decisions based on what we saw. And then we sat down at the bar, and John, who's the owner, master distiller, he walked us through their entire history, as well as each one of the product offerings that they had there. And there was
what, 12?
yes,
something like
and
that.
there was a really nice surprise in there too. I don't have that sitting here right now, but there was a really nice surprise in that grouping too. We bought a double oaked bourbon, and did you buy the spelt? No.
Yes, yes, we did get. I'm pretty sure we had this.
I didn't buy the
I
spelt.
can't remember if I did or not.
But I bought 2 bottles. I bought the double oaked bourbon, and I also bought totally out of character. But I'm telling you, when the guys are over here playing golf some night, I guarantee you we will drink every drop of it. He described it as the best slice of apple pie in a glass that you'll ever have. And he said, and then of course he had given us our samplings that we paid for, and he poured some in another sampling glass and pushed it across the bar to us and said, "Tell me I'm lying." So
He was not lying.
we went through the entire tasting. We tasted 4, and then we tasted that, and oh my God, it was like a slice of apple pie in a glass. I swear to God,
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was very good.
Got it
So
down.
I ended up buying a bottle of that, and then we went to.
Then we went to Nobleton's, and this was a distillery that a colleague of mine at work had told me about, and he absolutely loves this place. And so I decided, well, we have to give this a try. And we were not disappointed. We sat down and we did a tasting of 3 different products. And as we started on the first one, the bartender came back and set down 2 more glasses, apologizing for the wait on getting to us. And so now we had a sampling of 4.
4. Keep counting now.
And we took the first sips of the first one, and both of us looked at each other, and it's like, this is an outstanding bourbon. Not just outstanding Missouri bourbon, it was an outstanding bourbon. And as we started to work our way through that one and on to the second one, a second bartender came over.
That was when Nick came over, wasn't it? The general manager?
Well, we ended up with the other bartender set down 2 more glasses.
Oh, that's right.
And so now we're up to 5 samples. And as we are starting to work our way through, the manager, Nick, came over to our table, sat down with us, and just started talking about Nobleton's and how it got started and how many years they've been around, which was a lot longer than what I had realized.
They're one of the oldest distilleries in the entire U.S.
Yeah.
And their history dates back to the mid 1800s.
Yeah.
And their whole backstory is so unique and interesting. I don't remember the story. I don't even want to pretend to try and tell you it, but something occurred causing them to have to close their doors, and they moved the entire everything to Oregon, where they stayed for a number of years, probably close to 100 years. And no, it wasn't either, because it was early in the 1900s, I think. And so they moved to Oregon. It was something to do with Prohibition. And they moved to Oregon, and they weren't able to sell anything out there, but they were able to produce. So then in 2014, they moved back. They originated in Bourbon Valley, and when they came back, they're in Union, not in the River Valley any longer, but they're nearby. And they've got their whole distillery there. Their whole rick house is right in the same building as the distillery, along with their kind of speakeasy bar, pizzeria, and very cool. So they're not the bourbon. None of the bourbon is listed on the bottle, or in none of their drinks are listed as over 11 years old right now, because of course they've only been there 11 years. Wink, wink. And their products are across the board phenomenal.
Yeah.
I ended up with a bottle of bourbon, and I didn't really set an expectation for myself for the day budget-wise, but I blew my budget there, because the bottles were very reasonably priced at $90, but the bourbon was so good. It was a 4-grain bourbon, and it was so good. I would put it up against any other bourbon, period. It's all 92 proof, 90
That I
proof.
don't remember.
Yeah, 91 or 90.8 proof. And they had a rye that was 100% rye, and I'm not a rye drinker. That made me a rye drinker, because it was so damn good. I had to have a bottle of that too. And then after that experience, we left there and went on to the Washington Distillery, and
Another great experience. They had a very large selection as well, but they do one of their main lines is called, is it mash bill?
mash build.
Mash bill. And so it's a collection of different bourbons that they put together with, some have flavorings, some don't. I was impressed with one that had the Madagascar vanilla.
Well, that was the coffee, right?
No, we had the Kona coffee, which I got a bottle of that one. And then he also had a bottle of Madagascar vanilla. Got a bottle of that one too. And then we both purchased this one, which is the Infinite Oak, which is really a cool concept. Is that it's a sequence of 8 barrels. And as the main barrel goes down, they go to the next barrel and fill it back up. And so there's still some left in the first barrel, and that process just continues all the way around. So in the end, it has an infinite number of barrels of bourbon all coming mixed together.
That it's drawn from. So it's basically a blended bourbon that is blended infinitely. In other words,
Interesting concept.
this barrel here, did he say when it gets to half?
I think it's half or a third, I can't remember.
When it gets to half, they top it from this barrel here, which is next to it, and then the next barrel here is used to top this barrel, and then the next barrel, and so on, and it goes from this barrel down to the one below it, and then across the bottom were 8 barrels, right?
Yeah.
And then when that last barrel finally gets empty, they replace it with another full barrel, and the process just continues
Infinitely.
And what a cool concept. I don't have I don't think there's anything wrong with blended bourbons. As a matter of fact, as you know, I have got a decanter up here in my cabinet where when my bottles get down to where there's about a half inch or so in them, usually there's more than 2 of us drinking out here, so that's not going to be enough for everybody to get a pour. So if there's a half inch or so in them, I will just take what's left in that bottle and pour it in a decanter, give it a zhuzh, put the cap on it, and leave it sit there.
And what is that practice called?
That's a zhuzh. Give it a zhuzh.
Well, that's what you do after it's in there, but that idea of
Bottle blending.
Okay, I thought there's a different word or a different terminology that
Really?
people have used, but
We'll
figure that out
yeah,
in the future.
If there's a different term, I call it bottle blending. Call it whatever you want. Man, what a great day. I mean,
We are really looking forward to the future episodes where we start to dive in to some of these bourbons. And as we do that, we'll give you some more background information on the distilleries, because all of them have a unique experience. With all of them, the people who were in the shops were incredibly courteous and kind and helpful, and were willing to answer any of our endless questions.
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations.
Oh no, I mean
Because
all of these places we had never been to.
yeah,
Or at least,
my entire experience with bourbon tour things is over in Kentucky, and so I really didn't have any expectation. I didn't know what to expect, and ironically, it was very similar to a bourbon trail a la Kentucky experience.
yeah.
I mean, it was very similar. I mean, they're not large corporate distilleries, but if you've been following us for a long time, you know that we kind of moved away from the big corporate distilleries anyway, and we've been going to more craft style distilleries even over there because we have found some diamonds in the rough.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't change that whole MO for anything because, man, we found some really good bourbons like that. And these are right in that pocket.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
Nobleton's was the only one. Well, no, the Washington. They didn't have a distillery on site, though, did they? They just had barrels on site.
No, they had a distillery, yeah.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Yeah.
Yep, we saw their still. Nobleton's had their still there. 1879 is in the process of bringing their still to their location, he said.
It's in what, Indiana right now?
Yeah, it's over in Indiana. And Ozarkian's still was not there at the Spiritorium, but it was nearby because they're very local. They grow all their own corn and all their own products, and then they source from specific locations their other products.
And he told us that their distillery is just so small and so cramped that there's no way to be able to go there safely and be far enough away from the stills and be able to do the tastings. And so they have that separate location, which is really just right downtown in Union.
Yeah, in fact, there's a festival.
September the 12th.
It's on September 12th. They're in Union at Market Park, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have 2 bluegrass bands and another band between them.
The diner across the street?
Yeah, there's a diner across the street. The Spiritorium is right there, and it'll be open. They'll have their spirits there at the festival. And I'm sure there will probably be other distilleries present there.
Vendors, yeah.
I think. And
But the diner is supposed to be serving outstanding burgers with a bourbon sauce on them. So bourbon burgers at the festival. So if you're around September, he said it kicks off at 10 a.m. So if you're in the area, you got to stop by. Or if you're not in the area, make the short drive to get there.
Yeah, because it's not far.
That's what, about,
yeah.
it's about an hour from the St. Charles area, which is where we are.
And then, I mean, while you're in Union, there's a couple other places you could go visit, you know, and make it your own little bourbon tour.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to be, I know not immediately, but in the coming months or so, we're gonna be expanding our horizons with the Missouri Bourbon Trail, and Bob's been working behind the scenes on creating a map, sort of an interactive map that will have every bourbon distillery in the state of Missouri on it, so you can click on it and see who they are and where they are and their phone number.
Get their information.
Yeah, and because everything we look up is incomplete. You can look up one list and it'll have a lot on it, but there will be things that are missing that we're aware of, and so there may be others.
Yeah, we're just trying to compile a complete list of the Missouri distilleries that are around.
Yeah, and call it the Missouri Bourbon Trail. Call it whatever you like.
Yeah.
But if there are more that are similar to these, or even Ozark Distillery that we were at a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some very good
Some great
bourbon,
places.
very good bourbon being produced right here in Missouri, and man, I can't tell you, it was so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun I had.
It was a lot of fun, and it was surprising because I really didn't know what to expect. We've had a few Missouri bourbons. Some we liked, some we didn't like as much. And so we really did not know what to expect. But at every one of the 4 distilleries, there was at least one product that we liked enough to drop the money down to get it. Because just because we go to a distillery, I'm not going to guarantee we're going to buy a bottle. If we try it and it just doesn't click with us, then we probably aren't going to put down the money. But all 4, we had at least one at several, and there were multiple ones that really clicked with us that we liked for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah, even that 1 year, that was a rye too, wasn't it?
That 1 year rye at Old Ozarkian,
Yeah.
he did say that they plan on putting out a 3 year, but even the 1 year, yeah, it was young, but it did not taste
No.
like a
And
1 year.
It's a rye, so it doesn't really matter quite as much as with bourbon, and it's called 12 months, 1 year. So that's kind of unique.
Yeah.
It caught my eye, and it was part of the tasting, and I certainly enjoyed it.
But you'll be hearing more about the distilleries as we sample the bourbons, because there's a lot to be said
Yeah.
about each one of these, and I don't know when our next venture out is going to be, but already looking forward to it and already kind of mapping out, and maybe about the same location, because we were around that Union, Washington area, and there are 3 or 4 distilleries in that general area that we didn't have a chance to get to, so.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Looking forward to
great
it.
time, and I mean, obviously, we're not talking about these specifically right now, but we purchased these bottles with the intent of doing a fair review of them, and so you're looking at 4 episodes of the Bourbon Brothers right there, and I can't wait.
Yep.
I can't wait to do them, because the differences are profound between the time you taste them at their location and then when you come back and you pour them in the old Glencairn glass and you give it a swirl and get a true nose on it.
Yeah.
And taste it. It's completely different. So, I mean, any one of these could suck, or any one of them could be a superstar, which I've got a feeling I know which one is going to be the superstar based on yesterday's experience.
Because sometimes the samples are in the little medicine cups, and yeah, you really can't get, you can get a bit of an idea of the flavor, but it's not nearly as pronounced as in a Glencairn. So yeah, we look forward to it, and plus the fact that by the time we hit our 4th distillery, and we had multiple samples, those last samples may taste a little bit different whenever we just are in here and sampling it without having a lot of other bourbons prior to
In the
that
system.
sampling. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
this is a typical sampling cup. It's kind of like a medicine cup, and they just pour like, you know,
Yeah, just enough to give you a taste.
just a taste in there, and compared to this,
Yeah.
you know, where
A
you
little
can,
bit different.
You can give it a good swirl and watch it coat the glass, and you know, you can hold it up to the light and see the legs. You can get a really good nose on it, because in this glass, when you swirl it around, the vapors kind of curl around in the glass, and you can really pick them up. That, no, it doesn't even begin to happen. So yeah, we get a lot better representation of the actual flavor.
Yes.
With the Glencairn than we do with
So
the
this is purely our introduction to upcoming episodes where we are doing our Missouri Bourbon Trail. So we'll be getting a lot more in depth into the bourbons, into the distilleries, into our experiences at each one.
Yeah, and I think it was good that we devoted this episode to just, you know, kind of recap roughly what we did yesterday, and I would expect that as we do future tours, we'll do something similar where, you know, we go and take a tour on Saturday, and then on Sunday put together a little tape to let you guys know what we are up to and give you a little preview into what you're going to be seeing in the future. And yeah.
So in the meantime, whenever with this episode, we're going to be tagging all 4 of these distilleries, correct?
Yes.
So you'll be able to check them out after this episode and get kind of a preview to what we're going to be talking about.
Dropping this on YouTube tomorrow and posting it to Facebook. And on Facebook, I'll be tagging all 4 distilleries, as well as, I think I only got one person's name for Facebook purposes, and that's Nick. So I'll tag him too. And I know that, well, I'll save that for the episode. But yeah.
We also need to tag the deli too.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're not familiar with Joe's Deli, you need to be.
Yeah, definitely. Very good food.
Yep.
And just a real deli.
Yeah. It's a great place.
The way they're supposed to be. So yeah, I'm Steve.
I'm Bob.
We're the Bourbon Brothers. This is the lounge. How you like this different backdrop? Thanks so much for watching. Feel like it? Like and subscribe and share. But until we see you again, thanks for watching.